Hello, and welcome to another Sitecore Stories. Today I'm catching up with Evangelos from the Sitecore stream team, and he's going to be telling us all about brainstorming and BrandKit APIs. So, let's dive in. Okay, thanks for joining me today, Evan.
Fantastic to join you, Rob.
I know you've been on one of these videos with me before, but in case anyone hasn't seen that, can you give us a quick introduction to yourself and your role here at Sitecore?
For sure. Hi, everybody. Thanks very much for watching this. My name is Evangelos. I'm a product manager for Sitecore Stream. So Stream is our basically our AI suite of products, features across Sitecore products, but also on its own. And I'm leading basically the brand assistant and the brand kits, which is basically two very interesting features as part of the Stream app. One, you upload your documents, you ingest them, and you can manage them. And the other one is a chatbot where you can basically talk through with those documents to create brand aware content.
Yeah, nice. So I guess before we start to talk about the features themselves, can you talk a little bit about the problems we were seeing and like why we built them out?
Yeah, sure, Rob. Maybe I will go through precisely the new features that we've released. What was the problem and how do they work? So actually, the first thing I want to talk about is we released basically brand kits a couple months ago as part of the GA release, and it has been a huge success since then. But as we talk with partners and customers, we realize some partners and customers they want to create custom-made integrations with the brand kits. So basically, yeah, we built this, and basically, a user can come here, can upload the documents, they click process, and then we ingest them, and we automatically create these brand kit sections, which we call them, which are taken into account when you chat either through the brand assistant or when you use either copilots, for example, in XM Cloud, what you call content variant, or in XP called content generation, right? It always considers these brand kit sections. So having had these conversations with partners and customers, we realized they want to create custom-made integrations where either they want to ingest documents directly from an external DAM, like for example, Frontify, or even more importantly, they want to use some of those brand kit sections, for example, the brand tone of voice, the grammar guidelines, when actually interacting with an external assistant, like ChatGPT or some other kind of AI assistant, right? So we would be able to offer them that flexibility if we expose the brand kit APIs and made them public. So that's exactly what we did. We made a lot of those APIs public. So what they need to do is they need to come to the Stream app. They need to click admin. They need to click partner keys here, and they can generate a client and secret ID basically. So once they do this, they have access to those APIs, and then we have made three documentations where we detail how to use them, and support can also be there for them to assist them. So they have access to it, and they can do custom-made integrations, which can allow them to use the Stream infrastructure in a more flexible way, and they just depend on our UI, let's say.
That sounds awesome. I love that.
So that's the first thing that we released. Maybe I can move to the next one, which is also very interesting.
Yeah, that sounds good.
So basically what I'm showing here is the brand assistant, right? Which we also released a couple of months ago. We've made some iterations. And after we discussed with a couple of customers, the feedback was that a lot of them, they want to create blogs and articles as part of that brainstorming experience. But many times when they use, like, for example, an external chatbot like ChatGPT, it doesn't really consider their brand. It doesn't consider the brand guidelines. So here we have the brand kit, which has all your brand knowledge. And the idea is to create a custom-made feature where it's specifically dedicated to create long-form content. And we call that brainstorming for long-form content generation. Those could be articles, blogs. So what it does is we've created basically a set of specific agents within this feature where each one will do something very specific catered for that task. So what will they do is the first agent, given the question, and I will demo it in a second, will create basically a set of an outline for that article. Then for each of those sections of the outline, what it will do is create questions that will need to be answered to basically fill that section. And for each of those questions, what it will do, depending on if the user has selected whether it can use the brand knowledge or the web search or both, it will go and collect that data, and it will aggregate it for each of those questions. And then it will summarize that into one coherent paragraph for each of those sections. And then at the end, you basically have AI has created this entire article or blog. It will also critique it. So up to 3 times it will critique it, so it can improve it up to 3 times. And then at the end, it will output the finalized version of that article. So what one can do is, as I said, if you click here for brainstorming, a user can select whether they want to get knowledge either from knowledge and web or one or the other. So if you don't want to use the brand key, you can do that. If you don't want to use sources from web, you can do that. Or if you want, if you want to use both of them, you can also do this. So let's say for this example, we'll use knowledge and web. And the question is, create me an article on how my products compare with top competitors. And I'll click this tool and I click brainstorming. And then I will click enter. And let's see what will happen. So what happens is here the chat is showing you a little bit how it's thinking, how it's structuring. So as you saw this, the structure is creating the questions now for each of them. And then we'll see it will retrieve information from knowledge, from brand knowledge and web. It will summarize them and then it will critique it. So the user is also interacting with what the methodology the AI is using to come up with this article. It critiqued it and now it output it. So here to the right, we see the article. Comparing Powerful is a demo, is basically a demo brand key that we have, is non-real. So what it does is it has created some sections. For example, what are the overview of the Powerful products, the criteria to compare, and this is the criteria, for example, ingredient quality, nutrition value, taste and texture, sustainability practices, price and accessibility, and then a conclusion. So this is an article that, for example, a brand manager and marketer can use. Of course, they can further brainstorm with that and update it. For example, if a user clicks the quick actions, they can make shorter or longer. But they can use this to the website and etc. in a faster way, let's say, than writing it, while also catering to the brand knowledge and tone of voice and etc.
That's awesome. I like how you get the fine-grained controls about the different sources of data it can use to generate the content as well. I'm sure it's going to be really useful.
Exactly. So in this thinking, somebody can use what kind of sources you use, whether it was brand knowledge from your brand kit or it was a web search. So if you come here and you click sources, you can see all the sources that you used, whether it was web, for example, or whether it was from knowledge, for example.
Okay, I think that's going to be super useful. To finish off, if anyone has any questions about Stream, what's the best way to get hold of you?
Yeah, that's a good question as well. The best way to get a hold of me would be either through my email, which is kour@sitecore.net, KOUR, or through LinkedIn, Evangelos Kourtidis.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining me today. Hopefully we get to speak again soon.
Thank you very much, Rob, and thanks everybody for watching this. Very exciting.